Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about money. Isn't this such an awkward topic? But in all seriousness, this is a very taboo topic, and I think especially in the medical community, you'll see lots of doctors almost being proud of not knowing exactly what's on their payslip. And I'm not saying this to look down on those doctors, because I am one of those doctors. I have a tendency to just trust that whatever's on my payslip is what I'm supposed to earn, that there are no mistakes. And for a long time, I didn't really understand all the numbers that were on there. I just accepted the payslip and kept on doing my work. People's relationship with money can be one that is very emotional, and the attitude that people have can vary due to cultural reasons and geography as well. So in the UK, money generally isn't discussed. We don't really know how much things cost in the NHS, things like blood tests and imaging. That is starting to change, and in my hospital, you were able to look at the final cost of the blood test that you were requesting, and it was a really powerful tool because it just made you think again, do I really need all these blood tests for my patients? What is the indication for them? Part of the reason for this, I think, is because it's the NHS. So it's a national health funded service and everyone is treated for free. But I think it's gone to another extreme where now there's an element of almost shame discussing things like this. And to be completely honest with you, I'm not entirely comfortable discussing this either. But I think that's part of the problem. And I think one of the most powerful things to do against this is transparency. That enables us to have clear, honest discussions about how much we get paid and what you can expect to be paid as a junior doctor. To me, financial education is incredibly important. It's a basic skill that most of us are very deficient in because we've never been taught this either in school or at university, and it's up to us to be able to educate ourselves because there is power in information. And if you don't know what you deserve or what your worth is, then if anything goes wrong, you won't be able to be compensated for it because you can't stand up for yourself. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't trust your employers, I'm just saying that mistakes do happen. Even I've had a week of shifts that were accidentally not put on my payslip. These mistakes do happen, it's life, but that's why it's so important for you to know what's on your payslip. So without further ado, let me show you what I earned as a junior doctor working in the UK. So this is a typical payslip that you will have as a junior doctor in the NHS. There's quite a lot of numbers and sections, so let's break it down. First of all, on the left side, you've got everything coming in. On the right side, you've got everything coming out. Now, the actual total on each payslip is going to differ month to month, and that depends on multiple things, including which rotation you're on, how many weekends you're doing, and how many additional on-calls. So don't take these numbers as exactly what you'll be earning, but it's a very good idea of roughly what you can expect. And for reference, the most that I earned in my F1 per month was 2,100, I think, and the least that I earned was 1,900. So it was in that range. Obviously, it depends on the hospital you work in and the things that I mentioned before. So at the top, you can see what my basic salary for the year is, and that's £28,243. This is a basic salary assuming that you're working a typical 9 to 5, 40-hour week. As you can see here on the right, this tells you I'm working standard 40 hours per week. And again, that differs as well because in orthopedics, I was working from 8 to 5 instead. And if we go down to this section, which is the input section, you can see that my basic pay, which is the typical 9 to 5, I'm paid at a rate of 13.54 pence per hour. Now, I worked 173.81 hours, which makes it a total of £2,353.58. Now, the next bit you won't see in all pay slips for junior doctors, but if you're living in London, the price of living is higher, and therefore they give you a sort of bonus in your salary. Similarly, if you're living in the fringe of London, so in the hospitals surrounding London, the cost of living is also higher, and therefore you're given this bonus. So for me, I get the London fringe, and for 173.81 hours, they give me a rate of 0.0714, which is not massive, and that gives me an additional £12.42. The next one on the list is the additional roster hours. Now, these additional roster hours, they're not actually additional optional hours. All junior doctors have to do them. And they're paid at the same rate as the basic pay, so the normal 9 to 5. You can see here for a rate of £13.54, and I did 26.49 hours of those, and so the total for that is £358.73. The next bit is weekends, and the bit here that you see, the 1 in 6 or 1 in 7, that tells you how many weekends you're working. So 1 in 7 weekends, which is very little. The max that you can do is 1 in 2 weekends, so every other weekend. And obviously you'll get paid more for that. So for me, I got paid £82 for the weekends that I did. So that's it for the input section. And unfortunately, everything that comes up must come down. So now we get to the output section. And here, the first thing you'll see is UK tax, so PAYE. And here I've got £367.60 going out for that. National insurance is another tax. It pays for the NHS and state benefits, and that's another £241.77 going out of my account. Correction, this has not actually gone into my account yet, so this is before I even touch this money. Then there's the NHS pension scheme. Now this is separate to the normal UK one, and it's something that's very advantageous. So most doctors that I know actually participate in this pension scheme, and that takes out another £220.4. And thankfully that's it for the output column. So if we go down to the bottom section, in this section below, the thing that's interesting is your total payments and total deductions. So the total payments, which is everything in the input section that we discussed, that's £2,806.73, and the total deductions are £829.41, which makes my total net pay, so post-tax, £1,977.32. So that is my salary for 1 month as a junior doctor working in the orthopedics department. When I worked in the emergency department, I got paid slightly more, so about £2,100. But again, this is just to give you a breakdown of what your payslip looks like, what you can expect, and roughly the range of a salary you will get as a junior doctor. So to summarize, as an F1 junior doctor in the NHS, I got paid pre-tax £2,806.73, with a net pay post-tax and post-deductions to £1,977.02. Now there are other factors to take into account. There are other expenses that you need to make as a junior doctor. You have to pay for your registration with the General Medical Council, the GMC. That's a yearly thing. You have to pay for medical indemnity to cover you as a doctor. And then there's lots of other conferences and exams that you need to pay for as part of your training, things that are necessary and that cost money. There are some grants and things that you can find, but most often than not, you're going to have to spend a significant amount of money on your training. So I would say that's almost obligatory, and it's not something that's included in the payslip, so please take that into account. I really hope you found this video useful and that the transparency will help you have a better idea of what to expect as a junior doctor working in the UK. If you have any questions or thoughts on how we can make this discussion more comfortable, especially amongst the medical profession, please don't hesitate to leave a comment down below. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!